follow him on Twitter at TonyHarnell. Welcome back to Totally Driven Radio, Mr. Tony Harnell. What's up, Tone?
What's up? How are you?
I am freaking stoked. How about you?
I'm just enjoying your Philadelphia accent.
It comes through a lot, doesn't it?
I have history there, and
yes, you do.
I have family there as well. So yeah.
Where at? In Philly itself, or?
Let's see. My half sister was born there. My dad was born there.
Wow.
And you have the same last name as actually her late husband and my niece and nephew. So
really?
I don't know. Maybe we're not related, but maybe they're related to you.
That's pretty wild.
You
know,
man.
it's weird because I mean, in South Philly, like where my family's from, there's all the Ragneys in South Philly I know, but where I am, I'm down like towards the border of Delaware, in Delaware County, it's called, and in the immediate area, there's a bunch of different Ragneys, and there was a deli like 20 minutes from my house, and a Ragney family opened it, and it was like a very popular deli. And whenever people hear my last name, they say, "Is that your family with the deli, or do you know this one?" And I'm like, "Oh my God, I thought I was like a very unique last name, but here it seems pretty common."
I think you're probably more related to the South Philly. If you have any relation to them, it's from South Philly. But anyway, it's good to talk to you, man.
You too, man. You know what? And I was saying at the beginning of the show, and I really truly got to thank you because you were one of our early on guests, and I feel like you truly opened the door for us. Like you gave us that chance to talk to us, and you gave us a ton of time, and we had a great conversation. And I truly think that interview, as well as the Corey Feldman interview we did around the same time, were like the two interviews that really opened the door for us.
Oh well, I'm happy that I was a part of that. That's awesome. And you had my cohort Rachel on not too long ago as well, so that's great.
You know what? It's actually been a year.
Has it been that long? Wow.
It was a year.
It was after the Love Bites video. That's right.
Yes. Yeah. Which she's an amazing talent.
Oh well, you the stuff we're working on now is ridiculous, and her voice now, even compared to a year ago, and it was amazing a year ago. Now it's just absolutely ridiculous. Like in the studio when we're working together, there's less and less that I have to do. In terms of producing, I'm just kind of sitting there and basically listening and not doing much. But no, she's incredible, and just to update everybody, she's got a lot going on, but she's got a TV show coming out next year on HBO. That's a pretty big deal.
Nice.
But you should interview her again soon and get caught up.
Absolutely. It's funny too because I was thinking of the other day when I was thinking about you, and I was thinking about how, you work with Rachel and, all the teaching and work you've done with her and mentoring. And then I was thinking to myself, I wonder if Tony, deep down kind of feels kind of sad or bad because of the state of the music business is today and the talent that she has to not be able to, you know what I mean? Like it was 20, 30 years ago in rate of album sales and just the business overall, and she can't experience it in the music state of today.
Oh, I wouldn't say that. In fact, tonight she's doing a showcase for some pretty major people in the city, and she's, we're working pretty hard behind the scenes, not just on the music, but on the business side as well, and so is she with her contacts, cool. and we're putting them all together. And no, she's gonna do stuff, and even though things have changed, we all see her as a future superstar. In today's world, meaning, look, it still happens. It's just different, So it's definitely going to happen for her. It's just a matter of time, as far as I'm concerned. And she's got all the qualities that one would need to be, to be successful, and one of those
sure.
is actually personality. you know, she's got a good head on her shoulders. She's very smart. And when you put that together with her obviously amazing beauty, which is ridiculous, and you put that together with her incredible voice and her songwriting abilities, it's kind of a no-brainer. So, I mean, people have been knocking down doors for a while. It's just a matter of, you know, she wants to do it her way, and I really respect that, you know, because she could have easily gotten a record deal 4 years ago, and they would have thrown her in with all the top producers, and she would have probably had a record out by now. But you know, I met her 2 years ago, and when she was 18, and she wanted to do things her way instead of taking deals that were coming at her. So I got to respect her for that. So that's you know, it's good to know what you want.
Yeah, I mean that says a lot too. I mean, at that age, like, you know, I know if I was 18 and somebody offered me something, I would have been right on that. I wouldn't have thought twice.
Yeah, I mean, you know, her mom is amazing as well, and she's done a great job at keeping her free of binding contracts, which is, you know, a huge thing. So, you know, they make a very good team, and that it's just, you know, it's great. So they're very smart, savvy, and we're all learning, actually. I mean, I know obviously I've been in the business for most of my adult life, but just like the rest of us, we have to relearn the business now because it's not anything even remotely like it was before.
Right.
So, yeah.
Now, like the last time we talked, like 18 months ago, whatever it was, one of the, we talked about TNT, and you pretty much had said like that was a closed door and it was done, and that part of your life was done, and then you go back to TNT, and I was like floored. I was like, wow. Yeah. What happened here? And then you spent. Go ahead.
No, I'm listening. Go ahead.
I was going to say, then I mean, you guys had some, I guess, a great time over in Norway, and you know, did you put out an album like with the orchestra or? Long story, but I'll try to make it short. So basically, if you go back to the beginning of what you said and follow it through. I was probably promoting the Wildflowers album when I spoke to you last. Is that right? Yes, absolutely, yes.
You know, things change, and we had probably 4 months of conversations leading up to the first shows I did going back. And, you know, look, I mean, those are my songs. You know, that's just as much my band as it is their band. And so when I get up on stage with TNT behind me, I'm the front guy. I'm the guy that I feel very much at home. It's kind of like going home, you know, to get back up on stage with those guys. So it's there are a lot of problems that I really don't want to get into, but that romantic desire to want to get back up there and perform your own songs and sort of push aside in your head the problems so that you can get out there and actually please the fans, because that's really number one, what you want to do. And you also, I'm not going to apologize for it, you also want to make a living. And I find it, to touch on that for a second, kind of ironic that I got some, mostly this time, thank God, very positive statements when I left TNT, well before the Skid Row thing happened. Luckily, this time, people kind of got the idea that, you know, it didn't rest on my shoulders. But I think that, you know, there's nothing wrong with going and making a living. That's what I do. I'm a professional singer. I'm a recording artist, and I'm a touring singer. And, I mean, that's what I've always done. I haven't had any other job since I was, you know, 21 years old, and we got signed to our first record deal. So this is what I do, and everything revolves around music and different aspects of music. So never going to apologize for going out and making money with my own band, playing my own songs, or or doing what I'm about to do, which is an honor and a privilege to be at this point in my life and at this stage in my career and have an opportunity to go out and actually finally be in an American band But to finish up your thought there, I went back and I had the experience, and we did some huge shows in not just Norway. I mean, we sold out all over Norway, played big places there. We did one solid round there, but we did Sweden Rock Festival with Black Sabbath, which was a huge show. We did a big show in Germany with Kansas and a couple other big bands. I can't remember, Nazareth, a few other bands off the top of my head. I can't remember. And we'd actually played Sweden quite a bit. But we did Finland. And then the next step would have been to branch out and do some other things. And, we did release a DVD/vinyl and CD album of a reunion thing with an orchestra that we did back in 2012 before I was actually back in the band. I was sort of a guest singer.
Okay.
Somebody had the bright idea to do this concert and have all three singers that had ever been in the band, which I thought was a very weird idea, but I did it. I did it for the fun of it, and I did it to get together with everybody and see all my old Norwegian friends because I spent years of my life in that country, so going to that country, and I have a long history in Norway and have a lot of friends there, so it was a kind of a really nice paid vacation for me.
Nice.
And I got to play in front of 2,500 people or whatever it was with a big orchestra, and it was a little weird. Tony Mills sang a lot of my songs, and the original guy who started the band, who left after the first record, sang some of the songs I'm known for, but he actually had a hand in writing. So it was a weird night, and not the kind of thing that I would personally want to put together, but it's got some nice magic moments in it. We have a beautiful tribute to our keyboard player, Dog, who passed away in 2011. That's the Northern Lights segment there, and there's some nice footage of him behind me on the big screen. So that, to me, was one of the main reasons I finally decided to do that show, was because I really wanted to sort of give him a nice little tribute and send-off. Because he was a sweetheart and he was one of my best friends. So,
wow,
yeah. So that's the TNT story for you. And I left TNT this time. I probably would have just decided just to not do a press release and just done it privately, or talk to the guys and said, let's just take a break, because Ronnie was doing solo stuff anyway, and probably would have never felt the need to really say anything. A lot of bands just kind of disappear and never make a statement, and then they come back when they feel like it. And that's kind of where we were, because we just couldn't come to terms on really much of anything after we had finished the round of the first round of touring. So I was definitely frustrated and with the business side of things, and ready to go. Just wasn't going to make it official, and then got a text from Mr. Bolin, and right at the same time I was really had pretty much in my head left again, and that kind of was the thing that forced me to make a public statement, because I really, and I had to explain this on my website today, I wanted to make it clear that my TNT decision was a standalone decision. Right. Meaning, to clarify some things that were taken out of context on from the interview that I just did with my good buddy Mitch. Sometimes these other websites like Blabbermouth and stuff. I love all these websites, but they'll take excerpts from interviews that you do, and they'll take things out of context, and they don't make sense. And you look at them and you read them and you go, oh, what a dick. But it's actually not the way that it went down. It was actually kind of I was not in Skid Row. It was a phone call. It was, let's get together and hang out and see if, we've known each other for years. Let's just get together and see what's going on and hang. And that's pretty much what it was. But what in my head, what it told me was, I was already putting other things together, and I had feelers out, and I was looking at other possibilities and other projects and so forth. But in my head, what it told me was, whether it's going to be Skid Row or something else, I wanted to make a clean a clean statement so that the TNT fans understood clearly that I wasn't leaving one band for another.
Right.
And that was really important to me because I have a lot of respect for the TNT fans because they're my fans. They're not just TNT fans. They're Tony Harnell fans as well. So it was important to me to make it clear that it was a separate decision. That's all I have to say about that. So.
Now, with the TNT thing, the one thing I was wondering too, did you feel like it was also like when you were saying it was in your head you were leaving before you actually made it public? Do you think it was also like this time around it was kind of like a thing of closure too, maybe?
I mean, again, would I have made the decision? I wouldn't have felt the need to make a public statement had it not been for. I really just did not want fans to get the sense or get the feeling that I was leaving one thing for another because it wouldn't have been true, and it would have looked that way, and it wouldn't have been the truth. So I was I thought it over for several weeks, and I thought, whether this thing with Skid Row happens or not, I'm going to take a chance and throw caution to the wind because I know there's going to be other opportunities for me. Let me just make a statement, and it unfortunately with that statement, fortunately or unfortunately, actually it doesn't really matter at this point. It's a moot point, but it probably does close the door permanently. But that's okay. It was something I really tried to make work, and quite honestly. Without getting into all the gory details, it was a rough ride, but the shows were really good. I have to tell you, they were probably some of the most fun shows that I've ever done with the band, and the audience was incredible. And there's a lot of new, young, vibrant rock fans that were really excited to see TNT that had never seen them, and a lot of situations where their parents were bringing their kids that are now 18, 19, 20 to see their favorite band for the first time, and there's a lot of that going on this last round we did, and it was pretty cool. So
that's awesome.
Yeah. So the shows the shows were amazing, and the stuff going on behind the scenes was trying. Trying is a good word.
Yeah, that's the part that sucks.
Yeah.
Now, when you do that, though, like when you put that release out, does your phone start ringing from other bands? Like, hey, are you available? Do you want to try something? Or
to a degree, but I'm kind of glad that it wasn't too. I've been, I've gotten offers to do other things in the past from other bands that are well known, and I've thought them through. Sometimes they were real quick decisions. Sometimes it would be like literally a 10-minute conversation and a no. And other times I thought about it a little bit and just thought that it wasn't the right thing. This is a very ballsy move, in my opinion. It's a difficult gig. I'm not going to lie. It was difficult. It was a difficult gig for, in my opinion, as a singer, looking at video clips, both old and recent. It was a difficult gig for both singers, and they both did a great job. I want to say that, and I've got a lot of respect for both guys. And I go way back with these guys. We've known each other, not super close friends, but we've known each other for many, many years, and we traveled in the same circles. They had the same management company as we did after we left. We were label mates for a while. We had the same A&R guy. We had the same lawyer. So there's a lot in common. A lot of the same friendships and so forth, and travel in the same circles. And I actually had a fairly close bond over the years with Sebastian off and on, and in the early days, and then later on, and here and there, and yeah. But it's a tough gig for many reasons. The obvious ones that I'm sure you have questions you want to ask, so I'm not going to ramble. So go ahead and ask. I'll let you do the interview. How's that for a change? You know.
Well, one off the bat, I mean, when this was starting to happen, did you like have that conversation in your head, like, do I really want to get into this, like? Because you know it's going to happen with the nonstop comparisons between you and Sebastian now.
I don't care. I mean, honestly, no. You know, the first couple interviews that I've done so far, I, have tried to be as respectful, and I have a listen. I have nothing to do with the internal stuff that went on in the 90s and that just went on now. I mean,
right.
It's none of my business. It's none of my concern. It's none of my business, and I have nothing to do with it. All I'm doing is I am a singer. I happen to be friends with these guys, and when they decided to make a change, I was the first guy they thought of, and the first one they reached out to, and the timing just happened to be perfect. I was literally sitting in my apartment, frustrated as hell over what was going on with my own band, and was in the midst of talks with some other musicians and about going forward with other things. So to answer your question, I mean, look, so from what I recall. And I say this with I have so much respect for, like I said, for both guys, and for I have to tell the truth. I mean, the guy's amazing. The albums are amazing, and he's a great singer and a great performer, no doubt.
Yeah.
I also happen to have been, like I said, friends with him, and I know from interviews that he did and from his own words to me privately that I was a big influence on him. So this is a weird scenario that is, I guess, a little bit like that movie Rockstar, but in reverse or something.
Right.
On a much smaller scale, of course, than say the Judas Priest thing, but there's a little of that. I don't know. We're totally different. There are going to be people that have those albums and those songs and those recordings so ingrained, and the shows they went to back in the day so ingrained in their heads that there's no way they're ever going to accept that. They never accepted Johnny, and they probably will never accept me. But I have to tell you, I did a lot of research on the band before I met with them the first time, and the brand name Skid Row is really strong, and it kind of surpasses all of that stuff. They sell out big places, and they do really well, and people go to see the band because they want to hear the songs. And yeah, I mean, are there people that would love to see the reunion, and would the reunion make a big, I'm absolutely sure of that, just like Guns N' Roses and a lot of other bands. But if it's not going to work, it's not going to work. That's not my business, and it's not my problem. And so, did I think about it? Yeah, I thought about it. Did I want to deal with it? No, I don't want to deal with it. I don't want to read all this horrible, ridiculous stuff. Most of it, thank God, that I've read is not personally directed at me, which is okay.
Right.
So, but I still don't like to read negativity about the band that I've now joined. So it's not easy for me to read that stuff. But honestly, the how do you put that? There's that saying, the angry minority are the loudest, ones, or whatever it is. The majority of people and the majority of stuff that I've read has been super positive, and we've all talked to each other, and we've all confirmed the same thing. Those guys went out to see a couple of big bands down in Atlanta, and they were bombarded with people congratulating them and telling them how happy they were and that it was, you know, they were excited. And so, you know, and I've read a lot of positive things online, not just on my own website, because obviously on my fan page, people are going to be positive about anything I do, for the most part. I mean, there's a couple of, one guy posted a picture of a big pile of shit, but that was like the funniest comment so far, which wasn't a comment, but it was hilarious. But no, I mean, how can I, if I focus on that, I might as well have said no. So I had to think it through, and I had to sort of I had to, you know, basically in my head make a pros and cons list and say to myself, well, I've been wanting an American band, I've been wanting an established American band, and I'm going to make music with them. You know, we're going to record an EP, and possibly there's been some talk about maybe doing a full-length record in the next couple of years. So, you know, that makes me feel really good, and it'll make me feel, obviously, like once that happens, I'll feel like a larger part of the whole thing, and I'll be up there doing at least a couple of my songs, or songs I had, you know, recorded myself. But it's a new situation for me. I haven't been in a band that wasn't really my band for 30 plus years. So this is a weird scenario, and I'm going to be dealing with a lot of things that I don't really want to deal with, but I'm going to try to ignore and just do my job and get up there and sing the way Tony Harnell is going to sing Skid Row songs. I'm not going to I'm going to honor them. People have been asking me a lot online about, you know, the gritty stuff or whatever. I mean, I can throw grit on my voice. If people don't know that, they can listen to Westworld albums, which I did 4 Westworld albums, which was a project I had with Mark Reale from Riot. They can listen to some Starbreaker, which there are 2 of those records, and they can listen to some 90s, late 90s and early 2000 TNT records. And they can also listen to some of my solo stuff, and they can hear grit. But in saying that, I'm not going to go out there every night and tear my voice apart. I'm going to go out there and sing the songs to the best of my ability, the way Tony Harnell would sing those songs, and give them as much energy as I possibly can muster, and you know, get them under my skin and do the best I can do. But I'm certainly not going to go up there and try and be someone else that's been there before me. I've got to try to just sing the songs the way the fans want to hear them, but it's going to be me singing. It's going to be Tony Harnell singing those songs. There's no way around it.
Right.
I can color my voice to a degree, but I'm not going to, there's no way I'm going to be somebody else. It's like, what, you know, I mean, that's really the thing. A singer is, the singer's voice is the same as a singer's soul. And if my soul is my own, or my body is my own, then my voice is too. So that's what I'm going to bring to it. I'm going to bring myself into this situation and do my best to make these hardcore, awesome Skid Row fans as excited and happy as possible. And yeah, it's a nerve-wracking undertaking for sure, but I'm really excited about the opportunity, and I think it's going to be good for everybody. I think it's, in the end,
I think so
once everybody gets used to it, I think it's going to be, I think the fans are going to be happy. I think that I think the band and myself, I think everyone, I just, like I said, I weighed it all out, and I just see it that, yeah, there's going to be some, I expect some bumps along the way, but I think in the end it's going to be a win-win situation for everybody. Because honestly, because he's not coming back. So if people can just let that go and move on with what the band has decided to do. This is not my decision, you know. This is their decision. Right. So and I'm doing something that I think is cool for me. So if people can run with that and sort of get on board with that and just kind of let go of the, you know, and look, Sebastian's out there touring. So if they want to see him, he's touring and he's doing great. So
yeah, you
can do both. You know?
Now, are you guys going to be doing any songs from the Johnny Salinger era, or?
Yeah, quite a few actually. I mean, obviously we've got the, the obligatory. I don't know. It's somewhere between 6 or 7 or 8 songs that have to be done every night. A couple of them get rotated around, but there's those core 6 or 7 songs that are never going to leave the set list. 18. I Remember You. Youth Gone Wild. Slave. Et cetera, et cetera. So there's that core group of songs that are never gonna be out of the set. But yeah, there's some really, really great songs from the Johnny albums that we're doing, and I actually like a lot of them. I like them all, and there's actually some that I've found, that I've discovered, that I've mentioned to the guys I'd like to do. So we're going to try to work those in eventually as well. Before we start.
Got to do Ghost.
Yeah,
you got to do Ghost.
No. Ghost is one of my favorites, and actually it's funny because before I went down for my first rehearsal period with the guys, about 3 days before I left, and I was like, I'm terrible at learning songs, and I'm like scraping by, and I'm trying to stuff my head with like all these songs, and he goes, did I tell you to learn Ghost? And I said no, and he said, oh damn. He goes, okay, don't worry about it. But I went and listened to it, and I fell in love with it. So I
love that song.
I got it down pretty well, and we actually went through it quite a bit down there, and it sounded really good. So cool. I know it's going to be. It probably won't be in the set for the first week or two of shows, but I think that it's going to work its way in pretty fast. So
awesome.
Yeah.
Now, something else you really got to be looking forward to, too, and you said it a few times, is you're now playing with a band from America, and you're going to be doing a lot of touring here in the States finally.
Yeah, U.S. and Canada, which is like, man, I'm so excited about that because TNT, I mean, I've been doing some solo stuff here and there, a little bit, a couple things on the West Coast, a lot of regular New York shows, as you know, with my acoustic stuff with various players. And it's great, but, I've been getting, letters every day from people all over the country because TNT did pretty well in the U.S. And then we just kind of disappeared in '89 for reasons why, many of those reasons, the same reasons I decided to leave just now. But, no, this is great. I mean, culturally, look, it's nice to be playing with guys that you have a little bit more understanding of background, similar backgrounds culturally. And, it's going to be cool. It's going to be a lot easier on me as well because I'll be able to do, all the bands are doing the weekend fly-in thing where you do 2 or 3 shows a week and come home. So the thing is, I'd go to Norway for 3 or 4 weeks, and I'd stay in a hotel room for the four nights that we had off, which is horrible. And it started to get real old real fast. And so, now I'll be able to go out and, some stints will be, some of the stints will stay out for, for a week or a week and a half straight, I'm guessing. But for the most part, I'll be home Sunday through Wednesday or Thursday, and that's going to be great for me.
Sure.
So, yeah.
That's awesome. Now, with the new music, like you said, you're going to be working. I think I saw you're going to put out an EP. I guess it's going to be Chapter 3, United World Rebellion.
Yeah, but let me backtrack for a minute because I just realized that what I said sounded very self-serving, and I want to just correct something here. The comfort level of coming home and being in your own home when you're not working is definitely a plus for me, selfishly and privately. But I really do want to just backtrack for a second and say that I'm really excited to get out and play for American fans, my American fans, because I know that I have a lot, and Skid Row has a lot. A lot of TNT fans are going to be coming to these shows, and I know that they'd rather, some of them, I've read a lot of them, they've said, I'm just as excited to see you with Skid Row as I would be to see you with TNT. And so, I'm sure they would have loved to have seen me with TNT, but they're just excited they get to see me at all, So I'm thrilled to be able to go out and play and meet face to face, after the shows or whatever it is, and shake hands again with people that maybe came and saw TNT back in the 80s when we played here, and then a lot of the new fans that have been waiting and waiting and waiting. So that's actually a huge reason as well for me to be excited about doing this. Not to mention the fact that the band plays in markets that TNT is also popular in but never went to, like South America, Mexico, Puerto Rico, different parts of Asia, different parts of Europe. So there's a wide spread fan base there that TNT has fans in all those places that we just never went. So I'm going to get to meet finally and sing for these people, and that's going to be amazing and fun. So.
I'll tell you what. When I heard this, I said at the beginning of the show, I was walking through Target, and I'm looking through my phone, and I see the announcement from Johnny that he quote unquote left the band. I was like, oh shit. And then like 5 minutes later, I'm like, now I'm waiting in line, and I'm scrolling through my phone again, and Tony Harnell announced it's a new singer. I was like, oh my God. Like, I was freaking out. I was like, oh, this is going to be awesome. If there was anybody to front this band and be the singer in this band, I can't think of anybody else that could pull it off beside you.
It's a tough gig. Like I said like a half hour ago, or however long ago that was. It's not an easy. I told the guys flat out when we were going through rehearsals. I said, this material, from a singer standpoint, and I've done my fair share of training and all that. I know what it takes. Their songs are so diverse, and the singing is all over the place in terms of keys and styles. It really takes like a very versatile singer, and so it's definitely not an easy gig. There are probably some guys out there that could do a great job. Maybe as good or better. I'm sure better than me, to be honest. But I'm going to give it a shot, and I'm going to do my very best and get up there and get my feet wet pretty soon here and see what happens. but look, one thing that really impressed me was I grew up on bands like Judas Priest and Aerosmith and a lot of two guitar bands. And, man, there is something so cool about standing between two guitars. It sounds, look, and this is absolutely not to, in any way, shape, or form, diss TNT or Ronnie. Ronnie obviously is a, superstar, magical, incredible virtuoso guitar player, songwriter, and super talent. But it's definitely cool for me, being an old school metal fan, to stand in the middle of two tight riffing guitars. It brings me back to my early days playing in bands when I was like 18 and 19 years old, playing Judas Priest and Iron Maiden songs.
Cool.
Takes me right back there to my youth. It's like, wow, I'm actually in a metal band. TNT was kind of a hard rock / pop something. Sometimes we got heavy, but it was more on the lighter side. This is a kind of a metal punk combo thing, and there's a lot of metal going on, and I'm kind of really digging that. I kind of wanted to get back to a more groovy, heavier sound, and get back to my roots. And Skid Row is people probably I've seen people really maybe don't know how good a band they are, and because of all the hoopla, but they're an amazing band. They're all incredible musicians, I have to say. So.
I've seen them, back in the day with Sebastian probably 3 or 4 times. I saw them with Johnny twice, and actually the last 2 times I saw them with Johnny, on stage they're just monsters, man. And you're you're saying, that double guitar. It's like a wall of just incredible sound. And
No,
Scotty
great.
Hill is a complete animal on stage.
Scotty is so funny, and what's great about these guys is they all have very different personalities. They're all really cool. It's like a family, and they're very professional. Yeah, I mean, I've got nothing but positive things to say. And Rachel, he's like, this amazingly good-looking guy, and he still looks great at his, for his age. He looks great for actually, if he was, 40 years old, he looks great. But he happens to be, on top of that, an amazing bass player and an incredible songwriter.
Right.
He's kind of he's the manager of the band, and he sort of runs things. Snake as well, the two of them together. And Snake's an amazing guy, great guitar player as well. Different from Scotty, so they complement each other really well. And Rob Hammersmith is a monster drummer. They really found that was a real find for them, and they talk about that a lot. To me, is when they got him 5 years ago, that he really sparked the band. And he's a super sweet guy, very dedicated, and very, just a great bunch of guys. I'm real happy about this. I'm excited about it.
That's awesome.
And, yeah, it's a cool thing.
I'm super happy for you too, Tone. I really am, man. And I can't wait. I hope you guys come to Philly soon. Yeah, me too.
Well, I know that we're working on an East Coast run, so I think that all the dates that people see right now, there's been, that's all there is to post right now. And one thing that was made clear to me is that no dates are posted unless they're absolutely confirmed 100%. So I like that. I'd rather see that happen than a bunch of dates get thrown up and then things get canceled or something go wrong. So
right.
I've seen a lot of stuff. Come here, come there, come here. And I'm pretty sure we'll get there. And if anyone's listening out there right now, anywhere in the country, don't worry. Hopefully this year, and if not this year, for sure next year. But all the dates that are up there now are what I would consider to be just the first run of shows, and more shows are being added all the time. And so I think once we get through this year, I think you're going to see more and more shows. Once we get through the summer, I think by fall there's going to be more stuff going on. So and we have to do an East Coast run because we got to do New York City, and we got to do Philadelphia, and we got to do probably Boston,
Jersey, Baltimore,
Boston, and right, and possibly all the way down south. I'm sure Atlanta and Florida and those places as well. I mean, so yeah, well, all that'll happen. I'm sure of it.
So, are you ready to take over America?
It's just going to feel good again to get out, and play in my own country, man. I mean, it's like
sure.
I'm an American guy, so. And I know I have fans here, and I communicate with them all the time. I can look at my Facebook page and my Reverb Nation page, and I can actually see where the majority of my fans are, and they're here. So,
right.
It's gonna. So, I'm thrilled. Yeah.
That's awesome. And I got to say real quick too. I was just messaged from Joha Rivas. I think that's her last name, from Argentina, and she been begging me all day. Please tell Tony I'm his #1 fan and she loves you, and come to Argentina.
Well, I have a feeling South America is definitely going to happen. I just don't know when. I know we have one show in Mexico, and I think that the band is definitely going to get to South America. It's just a matter of time. I don't know exactly when that's going to be, but I'm fairly certain that'll happen in one way or another. So tell her I said thank you, and tell her I see her posts all the time, and she's awesome. Tell her she's awesome, and hopefully I'll see her in Argentina soon.
Awesome. Tone, this has been great. I hope to talk to you again soon, later in the year. I hope. I guess the EP will probably be out by the end of the year, I hope.
I don't know. It's I have no idea. I don't know what the recording schedule is yet, or the release schedule at all. But I would guess either the end of this year or the beginning of next year, perhaps.
Cool.
And then of course Starbreaker will be is going to be happening. And again, I want to make that clear. That's a recording project only. So just so that people understand that things that I do on the side. Skid Row is my priority at this point, and it's my live priority. And any live shows that I do will be when Skid Row isn't working, and any other side projects that I do will be when Skid Row isn't working. So
right.
I want to continue making my own music and solo projects and that kind of stuff. Continue with all the other work that I do. But this is going to be the only band that I'm going to be moniker band that I'm going to be the lead singer of. There may be other live stuff I go out and do, either as a solo artist or little projects here and there. But this is the band that I am in now. To make
cool.
it clear.
Absolutely. Yeah. Tone, again, I want to thank you. I got to hop over to my next guest, but before I let you go, can you please cut an ID for me, because I never got one from you last time. This is Tony Harnell, and you're listening to Totally Driven Radio.
This is Tony Harnell from Skid Row, and you're listening to Totally Driven Radio with Bay Ragney.
Oh, thank you. And later on in the show, I'm going to be playing the new version of 18 of Life with you singing, and also a song off your cinematic EP that just came out in February that's available.
Oh. Great. Yeah,
so
that's available. That's on iTunes. What song you want to play from that?
What the hell song did let me see.
You should play Out From Under the Black Cloud or something. Something heavy.
You know what? I think what did I pick?
That's the first song.
You know what? I should have went with that originally. I was going to do that one originally, but then I went with, what's the second song? Cinematic.
Okay. Well, that's a cool kind of Queen-esque, interesting and weird alternative tune. So that's cool. Yeah, play whatever's in your heart, man. It's all good.
Cool.
I love that EP. So play whatever you feel.
You got it. All right, Tone.
Thank
you.
And thanks for having me. Thanks for having me again.
Always.
And we'll stay in touch. And
absolutely.
Thanks to all the fans out there, and both mine and Skid Row fans. And I look forward to seeing you on the road. And I love everybody, and I love you, Bay, and hope to talk to you soon.
Love you, Tone. Absolutely.
All right, buddy. Take care.
Take care, Tone. All right,
bye.
buddy, there he goes, Mr. Tony Harnell, the new lead singer of Skid Row. You can follow him on Twitter at TonyHarnell.